Welcome to the Free Super Tips Premier League Tipping Challenge. It's our Christmas special and backed by popular demand. It's the Romford Pele.
How you doing, Dean? All right. I felt I got a few right last time, so I done all right
All
last
set
time.
for Christmas?
Absolutely, yeah.
All
Can't wait. This year I've been pretty good. I've got all the presents sorted out. Everything's sorted. My missus does most of it, but obviously her present I've sorted out. So she'll be happy this Christmas, hopefully. I won't get another divorce, put it that way.
No, we'll leave that one. Right, so we're going to cover all 10 games in this Christmas special, okay?
Yeah, okay,
We're
brilliant.
going to get started with Fulham versus Wolves. Boxing Day, 12:30, we kick off with Fulham versus Wolves. Now, Fulham, they dug deep to get that point against Newcastle, didn't they? Wolves, they'd been on a good run prior to Friday night football when they got beat by Liverpool. Fulham being at home, I think they're going to have to attack a bit more than they did, obviously, in the Newcastle game. That could leave them a bit exposed at the back. So we're going to go for our main selection to be Wolves and a correct score of 2-1.
Well, certainly first clean sheet of the season for Ranieri's men at Fulham against Newcastle. Again, I think it's going to be a long, hard season for Fulham. Realistically, there will be a relegation battle at the end of the season. Wolves, I've been so impressed with them this season. I know Liverpool beat them 2-0 the other, last Friday, but they've been so good going forward, creating chances. Even against Liverpool, they had a few chances to score. So I've gone for exactly the same as you. I've gone for a 2-1 win for Wolves.
Boxing Day, 3 o'clock, and we've got Burnley versus Everton. Worrying times at Burnley for Sean Dyche now in the relegation zone. They've only scored 4 in their last 7. Everton, I say, if Burnley are going to score, it's going to be against Everton. That defending against Tottenham was absolutely shambolic, wasn't it? Goals-wise, Burnley, they've conceded 15 in 8 at home. Everton have conceded 13 in 8 away. We think both teams to score in this match, and we're going to shade it to Everton 2-1.
Well, I certainly agree with you, both teams to score. But I think Burnley showed signs against Arsenal. I know they lost the game, but they showed signs of good attacking football. They created chances. They just need to finish the chances off. I'll definitely go both teams to score, but I've gone for a draw. I think Burnley are desperate for points. Everton, after coming off that, conceding 6 goals against Spurs, poor defending really was. Pickford in different form at the moment. So I think Burnley, I don't think they're good enough to beat Everton, but I think they might pick up a point here, which could be an important point at the end of the season. So I've gone for a 1-1 draw.
Crystal Palace versus Cardiff. Now there's sure to be a big buzz round Selhurst Park after that win over Manchester City. They've scored 9 in their last 5 as well, so they're on a bit of form now, Crystal Palace. Cardiff, they've only picked up 1 point away from home in 8 matches. We like Crystal Palace here. Our main selection is Palace and over 2.5 goals. Correct score, 3-1.
Yeah, well, I'm certainly with you with Palace to win. Brilliant result at the Etihad. I mean, no one saw that coming.
No.
Probably a big price to beat Man City that day. Fantastic goals. Townsend, probably one of the goals of the certainly the season. Brilliant finish from him. He's been in good form. I've been at Palace a few times this year, and they've really impressed me. But against Burnley, they was very good. Could have been 4 or 5, maybe more. But they seem to struggle in front of goal still. I know they scored 3 at the Etihad, and everybody was saying, well, yeah, they're going to score 3 easy against Cardiff. But I've gone for a Palace win. I've gone for under 2.5 goals. I've gone for a 2-0 win for Crystal Palace.
Leicester versus Manchester City. Very contrasting results these two had at the weekend. Leicester go to Stamford Bridge and get all 3 points. Man City in that shock defeat. Otamendi, I've got something about him I don't like. If you remember when we did the World Cup preview and I was saying about Argentina, I think he unsettles the defence. City were much better when they had Laporte and Stones as the centre-backs. There's goals in this game, I think. Vardy obviously scored against Chelsea. His confidence should be back. Our main selection is for both teams to score. City might just have enough in the locker for a 2-1 win.
Well, certainly City can't afford to lose this one. With Liverpool playing Newcastle at Anfield, massive game for them. After no one expected them to lose to Crystal Palace, but they had lots of chances, and on another day they might have got at least a draw against Palace. Now you look at Leicester, very indifferent season. I can't really call them. You never know what Leicester City are going to turn up. They played them in the cup recently, 1-1 draw. Obviously, Man City went through on penalties. But I can see City not making that same mistake again. I've gone for a City win. You're right in both teams to score. I'm going to go with that as well. But I've gone for a 2-1 as well. Man City win.
Liverpool versus Newcastle. Liverpool topping the table at Christmas, so that's a good stat.
Yeah,
for them,
absolutely.
I think, to go on and actually win it. Rafa Benitez rolls into town. Their ex-manager won the Champions League for them. He's very good tactically, isn't he? I think he's going to try and contain Liverpool. He's not going to be stupid. He's going to sit back. Liverpool going to have to be patient here. Virgil van Dijk, it's just
brilliant.
Unbelievable, isn't he? They've only conceded 2 at home in the league. So we're going for Liverpool to win 2-0 as our main selection, and we're going to go 2-0 for our correct score.
Well, I'm certainly with you on that because, you know, Van Dijk's made a huge difference at the back. They've only conceded 7 goals all season, you know, which is amazing. That's probably what's going to win them the league. You look at Salah and Firmino and Mane, but I think defensive unit is how they're going to win the league this year. I'm with you totally on the correct score as well, 2-0. I think Wolves just showed you they nicked the first goal and they seem to sit on it, and then they might nick one at the end when Newcastle have to make a few changes and maybe take a gamble. So I'm going with exactly the same scoreline as you, 2-0 Liverpool.
Manchester United versus Huddersfield, and the feel-good factor is back at United. Is. Ole Solskjaer might not be the answer long term, but certainly he's come in, he's given the players a lift, he's given us fans a lift as well. We're all looking forward to this game. We're in buoyant mood.
Yeah.
Still at the back, they still look shaky at the back, and he's not had enough time to sort that out. So we think there's going to be goals in this again. We like Man United to win and over 2.5 goals as our main selection.
Yeah.
For a correct score, we're going to go 3-1.
Well, certainly Man United is, you know, everybody's waiting to see when Jose Mourinho's going to be sacked. There's been a reaction, which is exactly what you want as a manager. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coming in, scoring 5 goals. Rashford, Martial, they all look lively now going forward. I think the shackles are off, and you might see goals. But I just think that Huddersfield will go there, defensive-minded, keep it make it difficult for Manchester United. But I still see Man United winning pretty comfortably. But I've gone not over 2.5 goals. I've gone under 2.5 goals and a 2-0 win for Manchester United.
Tottenham versus Bournemouth. Tottenham, 3rd in the league. They've only lost 3 at home in all competitions, and that was to Liverpool, Man City, Barcelona.
Wow.
So tough to beat at home,
Absolutely,
as we know.
yeah.
I think with Eddie Howe, difference to, say, Rafa Benitez, who'll go and try and contain. He likes to have a go. He lets his teams play football, and for that reason, they could get on the score sheet. They've scored 11 in 8 away from home. They're not going to be good enough to beat Tottenham, though, especially the way Tottenham are playing at the moment. Our main selection's for Spurs to win and both teams to score, and for a correct score, we're going 3-1.
Well, certainly you've got to go with Spurs. I mean, scoring 6 away at Everton, amazing. I mean, you know, we expected that. No. But Harry Kane now seems to have got on the score sheet a couple of goals. So I'm going Harry Kane to score any time. I don't know what sort of price that will be. I certainly believe Tottenham will be too strong for Bournemouth. They had a good result against Brighton, good win for them. They're sitting really nicely in the league, and Bournemouth fans are very happy how it's all going at the moment. But Spurs, can they be title contenders? Maybe. And these are the sort of games you have to win. Yeah. So I'm going for a Spurs win as well. Same scoreline, 3-1 for me as well.
Boxing Day, 5:15 live on TV. We've got Brighton versus Arsenal. Now, your old team, Arsenal, of course. Now, Brighton, not easy to beat at the Amex. They've only lost twice in 8 league games at home. Arsenal, they had that bad week, didn't they, where they lost to Southampton and Tottenham in midweek, bounced back against Burnley. Look good going forward, still a bit iffy at the back. That'll need a bit more time to sort itself out, I think. We're going for Brighton here not to lose this match. We like Brighton in the double chance market, where of course you'll get Brighton and the draw. And for a correct score, we think it might be a good game, 2-2 we're going to go. Yeah,
no, certainly at the back is where they struggle, Arsenal. Going forward, Lacazette come in against Burnley. Aubameyang, obviously 2 goals for him. Top goal scorer now. Yeah. He'll be looking maybe to try and win that golden boot this year. Ozil come back into the side, looked very attack-minded. He set the first goal up, fantastic ball for Kolasinac on the left-hand side. But Brighton, poor performance against Bournemouth. I think Chris Hughton will want a reaction from his players now. It was a poor performance, conceded 2 goals. But I've got to go with Arsenal. If they've got any chance of getting in that top 4, these are the sort of games you have to win away from home. Chelsea just went there recently and beat Brighton away. So I'm going for an Arsenal win as well. I've gone for 2-1. I think Brighton will score because of the defensive record, but I've gone for 2-1 to Arsenal.
Live on Sky at 7:30, Boxing Day evening, we've got Watford versus Chelsea. Now, Watford, excellent win at West Ham the weekend. Chelsea, that defeat against Leicester, no one saw that coming, I don't think. Goals in this match, we think. Watford have conceded 15 in 9 at home. Only 3 teams have conceded more. I was quite surprised when I read that. Chelsea, they've scored 16 in 8 away. So we think this is going to be entertaining, end to end. It's a bit of a local derby as well.
Yeah.
Our main selections for over 2.5 goals. And our correct score, we're going to go Watford 1, Chelsea 2.
Yeah, I think Chelsea need to bounce back. Sarri's got to do a good job now with the team after losing to Leicester 1-0. Really poor performance of the weekend. They need to now bounce back. This is such an important period around this Christmas time when you've got lots of games coming thick and fast. You've got to get your team back to winning ways. So Watford have been brilliant. I've watched them at Cardiff, at Vicarage Road a couple of weeks ago. Conceded 2 late goals, but they was in control most of the game. Went to West Ham. No one expected that. I had that down as a draw, West Ham Watford. But they managed to get all 3 points. So they're in good form at the moment. But I've got to go with Chelsea. I think, like Arsenal, they can't afford to lose another game, and that top 4 gets a little bit more difficult. So I've gone for a 2-1 win, exactly the same as you, Dean, for Chelsea at Vicarage Road.
And we finish off the day after Boxing Day, 7:45 in the evening. We've got Southampton versus West Ham. Now, Southampton look a different side under Ralph Hasenhüttl. Hope I've pronounced that correctly.
Yeah, that's not bad. I'm glad you said it.
Good attempt. 6 goals, 6 points in 2 games. Doing well. West Ham, now they'd been on a terrific run prior to losing to Watford at the weekend. By all accounts, I didn't see the game, but West Ham had plenty of chances in that. I think Chicharito missed a few himself, didn't he? We don't see West Ham losing this game. We're going to plump for West Ham in the double chance market. And for a correct score, we're going to go 2-2.
Well, yeah, I mean, Southampton, amazing how the reaction from the players. That brilliant win against Arsenal. Then they go to Huddersfield at that time in a relegation battle themselves. Get a brilliant result there, 3-1 again. So I'm with Southampton at the moment. But I think West Ham, as you rightly said, it was a poor performance. Well, not poor, but they had plenty of chances against Watford to get a result, which they didn't. But before that, they've been in great form. So I've gone for a draw as well, but I haven't gone 2-2. I've gone for a 1-1 draw.
So thanks for watching our Premier League tipping challenge, the Christmas special with the Romford Pele, Ray Parlour.
Let's hope we're right.
I think we've got a few in there. We agreed on a few.
Yeah, we did.
Didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get a few right, and I'll be having a little punt on a few of these.
Yeah, a little
myself.
flutter on these, I think.
Yeah.
Well, have a good Christmas, Ray. Thanks
Cheers,
for joining
Dean.
us. Good 2019 to you as well. Keep viewing Christmas special again. We've got Alan Brazil in this seat in a few days' time. We're going to look at the weekend matches. So please keep looking at us, and Merry Christmas,
Cheers,
Ray.
Dean. Merry Christmas to all you guys out there.